China's epidemic is rising rapidly, with many young people passing away unexpectedly. China's epidemic is rising rapidly, and the number of sudden passings has increased sharply, including many well-known academicians, professors, and business elites, and it is showing a trend of younger age, with many young and middle-aged people and even young people in their teens and 20s passing away. The owner of a private clinic in Hohhot, Inner Mongolia, who goes by the pseudonym Liu Kun, revealed that the epidemic has persisted, and there are many symptoms of coughing, sputum, vomiting, and diarrhea. Liu Kun, pseudonym, the owner of a clinic in Hohhot, Inner Mongolia. Many patients come, and the symptoms last for a long time. Most of them are not well for several months. Many people are absent-minded and have no spiritual energy, or we say that the soul is no longer his, he has forgotten it, and his eyes are not right. There are many suspected sequelae. According to the characteristics of infectious diseases, there may be an explosive growth in June and July. According to online news, the number of sudden passings has increased sharply recently, including many young girls and boys in their teens and 20s, as well as well-known academicians, professors, and business elites. Liu Kun said that since the outbreak of the epidemic in recent years, China's population has dropped precipitously, and it is estimated that it is now less than 1 billion people, but the official data is concealed. Liu Kun, pseudonym. There must be many severe cases, but the news is not easy to get. Sudden passing is more common in people around 50 years old, and there are also cases in people in their 30s. It is often caused by myocardial infarction, cerebral infarction, or cerebral hemorrhage, which is related to the current new crown. It will cause people's immunity to be low and will attack your weaker parts and rapidly deteriorate. There is a local custom that firecrackers are set off after passing, which is more frequent. Mr. Xu, a citizen of Bengxi, Liaoning, said that the CCP has been concealing the epidemic, and ordinary people have misjudged it as a common cold and neglected to take precautions. Mr. Xu, a citizen of Bengxi, Liaoning Province. Some of my friends and relatives have caught a cold. In fact, we have realized that it may be the epidemic, the mutation of the new coronavirus. Some of them have been dragging on and have not been getting better. This disease cannot be cured by medicine at all. The sudden passings are very young, all in their 40s and 50s. On May 21, 2025, a truck at a construction site in Pudong, Shanghai, was sealed for epidemic control, with a no-getting-off notice on the door, raising legal concerns. Days later, on May 26th, a quarantine notice surfaced for a primary school student in Guangzhou's Huangpu district, who had tested positive on May 18th and was quarantined at home until May 25th with a return-to-school certificate required. These incidents sparked public concern, with many saying, "The lockdown is back." Meanwhile, Chinese social media is flooded with posts reporting elderly frontline doctors dying from a new COVID-19 strain, a rise in people suddenly collapsing in public, and increasing sudden deaths among ride-hailing and truck drivers. One netizen lamented, "Nowadays you don't wait until old age. Anyone could pass away anytime, anywhere." The pandemic situation in mainland China is severe. COVID-19, also known as the CCP virus, is rampant, and hospitals are overwhelmed with crowds. Recently, numerous posts on mainland Chinese social media platforms show that more and more people are suddenly collapsing in public, while sudden death incidents among ride-hailing and truck drivers are becoming increasingly frequent. One mainland netizen lamented, "Nowadays, it's not about waiting until you're old to die. One could pass away at any time, anywhere." Sudden deaths among ride-hailing and truck drivers are on the rise. Mainland Douyin blogger Kai Chengkai recently posted a video saying, 3 days. Within just 3 days, 5 truck drivers have died. He noted that 4 of them collapsed right at the steering wheel and lost consciousness. All were sudden deaths, with an average age of under 40. On May 20th, Kai Chengkai posted another video saying, "Another trucker has fallen." The footage shows a seemingly unconscious, middle-aged man being carried off a truck by several people. According to Kai, by rough estimates, around 300 truck drivers have died suddenly in 2024. Douyin blogger, ride-hailing female driver Meng Meng expressed her frustration on April 11th. Ride-hailing fares keep dropping, and the number of drivers dying suddenly keeps rising. We're just trying to feed our families. What have we done wrong? These tragedies are breaking the hearts of countless ride-hailing drivers. Netizens react, not just the elderly. You can die anytime, anywhere. Regarding the frequent sudden deaths of ride-hailing and truck drivers in comment sections under related topics, some netizens believe the drivers died from exhaustion. Others suspect it's due to side effects after the injection, while some attribute it to the virus itself. A netizen from Heilongjiang wrote, "My friend runs a funeral home and crematorium. He said that in the past few years, there's been a noticeable increase in deaths, not just among the elderly, but young people too. He's a tough guy, yet he often can't hold back tears." A netizen from Sichuan said, "It seems that many people who died this year were in their 30s or 40s. I find it strange too. These days I sometimes feel palpitations, shortness of breath, and dizziness." A netizen from Shanxi shared, "My cousin was only in her early 30s and passed away in her sleep without any signs or prior illness. She had no underlying health conditions and was full of energy. She went to sleep and never woke up." Mainland netizens left comments expressing sorrow and shock. "Several people I know born in the 70s have already passed away." A friend who's a doctor said at dinner today that more people in their 20s and 30s are dying now. After the COVID outbreak, sudden cardiac deaths have increased, especially among young people. It's COVID. Now, you don't wait until old age to die. You can die anytime, anywhere. Hospitals in many parts of mainland China are overcrowded. A large number of videos on the mainland Chinese platform Douyin show that hospitals in many regions have recently been packed with people. Dr. Blogger, Pediatrician Orange, reminded in a video that recently there has indeed been a rise in patients with sore throats, fevers, and coughs. After all, it's a virus. Everyone must be cautious. Another doctor blogger, Director Who Talks Health, also released a video warning that COVID-19 is active again and patient numbers are surging. Douyin blogger World Peace posted a video titled "Hospitals Overcrowded" on May 14th, in which he exclaimed, "Why is it that hospitals all over the world don't make money, but only hospitals in China do?" Because once hospitals are commercialized, their goal is no longer to cure patients, but to make as much money as possible from them. Many netizens responded with comments like, "Well said," and "Exactly right." According to data from the Chinese CDC, in the 18th week, from late April to early May, the COVID-19 positivity rate among flu-like cases in national sentinel hospitals rose to 16.2%, more than doubling from 7.5% in early April. Among hospitalized patients with severe acute respiratory infections, the COVID-19 positivity rate also increased from 3.3% to 6.3% by early May. Furthermore, for 3 consecutive weeks, COVID-19 has ranked first among outpatient flu-like illnesses. Mainland China faces a new wave of new variant infections as hospitals continue to be overwhelmed. The epidemic in mainland China is becoming more complicated, with many new variants of COVID-19 spreading in the country. Recently, some Chinese Communist Party officials have also admitted that the epidemic caused by the new coronavirus strain has broken out again in many places. Hospitals are overcrowded, and epidemic prevention drugs are in high demand in many areas in the south. People revealed that this virus is very powerful, and many young people have passed away suddenly. Many people suddenly collapsed and passed away while walking, and some never woke up after going to sleep, even though they were still very young. At the same time, the number of people who passed away from the new coronavirus in Hong Kong has increased tenfold compared with 2 months ago. Meanwhile, neighboring countries of China in Southeast Asia, such as Thailand and Singapore, have recorded a high number of people infected with the new variant, with dozens passing away every day. Chinese blogger. Recently, many people have found that there are more people coughing and with fever around them, and the new coronavirus has quietly risen again. On May 16th, the topic of the new coronavirus infection is rising again in mainland China. became a hot search on the internet. According to Li Dongzheng, chief physician of the Department of Infection Comprehensive Department of Beijing Yuan Hospital, affiliated with Capital Medical University, the number of outpatient visits and the positive rate of the new coronavirus have begun to increase since March. Many mainland people have posted videos saying that this wave of the virus is very powerful, and many people have symptoms such as fever, cold, sore throat, cough, etc., and the hospital is full again. Mainland Chinese. I've been infected with the coronavirus again. Oh my god, my throat hurts, my nose is stuffy, I have a runny nose, and I cough. I feel like I can cough out my lungs with every cough. And today, my sense of taste and smell has decreased. I clearly feel that this coronavirus strain is very strong, so everyone should be careful. The Chaoyang District Center for Disease Control and Prevention in Beijing reported on May 12th that the current coronavirus activity in Chaoyang District is on the rise. Data released by the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention on the 8th showed that within 5 weeks, from March 31st to May 4th, the national outpatient coronavirus positive rate rose from 7.5% to 16.2%. Among hospitalized severe respiratory cases, the coronavirus positive rate rose from 3.3% to 6.3%. The coronavirus positive rate in southern China is higher than in the north. The real data is unknown. In addition, the authorities still have not announced the number of confirmed cases or people who passed away. Dr. Lin Xiaoxu, an American virology expert, this data from the CDC can be said to have not told the public the very important extent of the current COVID-19 outbreak, but only mentioned a so-called increase in infection rate and detection rate. This detection rate has not been explained here. For example, whether the detection rate of the new coronavirus has increased by 16% among the 3 viruses, or whether the detection of 10 respiratory viruses has increased to 16%, etc. Too much information has been omitted, so this is a very serious information concealment and misleading. According to the Hong Kong Health Department's report on the 15th in early April, Hong Kong recorded another 30 people who passed away from the new coronavirus in the past 4 weeks, which is 10 times that of February. In addition, people in many places in the mainland told NTD that recently, the epidemic in China has been raging, many young people have passed away suddenly, crematoriums and cemeteries have been expanded, and some rural cemeteries are saturated. The authorities are continuing to conceal the truth. Mr. An, a citizen of Shenzhen, there are many sudden deaths now of all ages, but more young people. I have seen several young people in their 20s and 30s who were not sick or had no symptoms, but suddenly collapsed. Ms. Zhang from Yuxi, Yunnan. The price of buying a cemetery has increased by several thousand yuan, tens of thousands of yuan. The number of people who passed away in recent years has increased compared to before the epidemic. The official said it was influenza A and then some virus infection. Anyway, they changed the name to fool the people. China's real estate crisis continues. China Fortune Land Development defaults on 23 billion yuan of debt. Amid the prolonged downturn in China's real estate sector, the debt crisis facing property developers has deepened. Among them, China Fortune Land Development recently announced that it has defaulted on 23 billion yuan in debt. Rongsheng Development is also mired in financial trouble, with more than 1.1 billion yuan in unpaid liabilities and multiple lawsuits looming. China Fortune Land Development, 192.2 billion yuan in debt restructured, over 23 billion yuan still in default, according to the Debt Restructuring Progress Report released by China Fortune Land Development Konadish Limited.
想哭了，我没事情。想哭了。
The worst off people now are not those who have not received education, but those who cannot find a job after graduating from college. I found a problem at a class reunion today. There are 6 people in a dormitory, 4 of whom cannot find a job. Later, I found out that the other 2 are delivery men. I worked hard to get into college and studied for 4 years. Isn't the purpose of going to college to find a good job? As a result, after 4 years of college, I can't find a job at all. To be honest, I actually regret going to college a little bit. If I hadn't gone to college, I would earn 3,500 yuan a month as a waiter, with food and accommodation. But what happened to me after 4 years of college? I can't even find a job that pays 4,000 yuan. In recent years, China's economy has been sluggish and unemployed people are everywhere. However, there are a large number of college graduates in the mainland every year, and the problem of unemployment after graduation is difficult to alleviate. Even in Shenzhen, it is difficult to find a job. Some college graduates have finally found a job, but after deducting necessary expenses, the remaining money is simply not enough to maintain a minimum living. Today we will talk about related topics. Recently, a female law graduate in China cried that her monthly salary was 2,500 yuan and 1,800 yuan would be deducted for Social Security, leaving only 700 yuan, which is equivalent to a daily salary of only a little more than 30 yuan. She explained, "Why do you have to pay Social Security? Because you must have a record of paying Social Security to get a trainee lawyer certificate. If you don't pay Social Security, you can't become a trainee lawyer, and you can't become a professional lawyer."
他跟我说，我的社保从我的工资里面扣。
My boss told me that my Social Security is deducted from my salary. The original salary of 2,500 yuan after deducting 1,800 yuan for Social Security leaves only 700 yuan. I work 22 days a month, which means that my daily salary is only a little more than 30 yuan. Why do I have to pay for insurance? Because if you want to get a trainee lawyer certificate, you must have a record of paying Social Security. If you don't pay Social Security, you can't become a trainee lawyer. If you can't become a trainee lawyer, you can't become a professional lawyer. I spend 6 yuan to take the subway every day to go to work, and it costs 12 yuan to go back and forth. I have to eat, and I pay to go to work every day. The woman said that law students must have experience to be a company's legal affairs. And the competition for civil service examinations is also very fierce. Only graduate students can become judges and prosecutors. She cried and said, "Law students nowadays are so pitiful. I still rely on the money I earned as a tutor and the money my grandparents gave me. Otherwise, how can I survive? I'd rather not survive. I don't have a penny and I have to work every day to pay for it." This video resonated with mainland netizens. Some said, "We have all experienced what you have experienced. Just hold on. It will be fine if you hold on. Don't cry, kid. You will get used to it slowly. Everyone is a cow or a horse." There is a joke on the internet that it is not easy for a boss to recruit a driver with a monthly salary of 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. But if you want to recruit a trainee lawyer with a monthly salary of 2,000 to 3,000 yuan and let him work for you, write materials, and be your driver, then you will definitely have a lot of applicants. This female blogger is a lawyer. She thinks it is more difficult for law students to find jobs this year than in previous years. I think it is more difficult for law students graduating this year because I found in the lawyer group that the recruitment of intern lawyers and paralegals has decreased, which is related to the lawyer's business volume. In the economic winter, the lawyer's business volume will also decrease and be affected, so naturally the demand for paralegals and intern lawyers will also decrease. Even companies want to lay off employees, and the lawyer industry is the same. It's not that we don't work hard. On the contrary, I think we work very hard. How bad is the employment situation for law? As the best major in liberal arts, its employment is very representative. If the employment of this good major is not satisfactory, then where is the way out for other liberal arts majors? Yesterday, I found 7 undergraduate law students from Guangxi University and learned about their class's employment situation, which is much worse than I expected. First of all, there is the issue of the employment rate. Many of their classmates have not found a job yet. Including the classmates I interviewed, several of them have not found a job. They roughly estimated that the employment rate of their major is only 50% at most, which means that at least half of the students are still unemployed. Among the employed people, about 20% can pass the civil service exam. Everyone should know the status of law in the civil service exam. It is the largest major in the civil service exam. There are the most positions, the best departments, and the least competition. Under such circumstances, only 20% of the people pass the civil service exam every year. Among the students who pass the civil service exam, Most of them are civil servants in 4th and 5th tier cities or in some county towns. In better cities like Nanning, Guilin, and Liuzhou in Guangxi, the proportion is not very high because these places are also very competitive. The blogger said that there is another destination for law graduates, which is to work as lawyers in law firms. However, very few people go to law firms. Why? Because they have to pass the bar exam, and the pass rate of the bar exam is very low. Even if a powerful relative helps the graduate enter a law firm, he will not make any money in the first 5 years of working in the law firm. It is good enough if the monthly salary can support himself, and some people can't even support themselves. He suggested that if you want to be a lawyer, it is better to go to cities in developed provinces, because the more developed the region, the more lawsuits there are, and the more people hire lawyers to fight lawsuits. The woman said that the employment rate of law graduates in her university is the lowest. I am a fresh graduate this year, majoring in law. I found a problem. The counselor told me that our law school's employment rate this year is the lowest in the whole school. I was thinking about what happened. Did all the law majors take the civil service exam? Do you have to wait until you have taken the national exam, the provincial exam, and various exams before you know whether you have landed or not, and then look for a job? Who is studying law? Don't study it. The employment rate is the lowest. The employment rate of law has been the lowest for 10 consecutive years, and it is actually called the best major in liberal arts by many people. Not only is it difficult for law students to find jobs, the overall economic environment in China is deteriorating, and the same is true in Shenzhen. Many companies have closed down, and many people have lost their jobs. Blogger Mr. Jiang said that there are also many empty shops in Shenzhen with transfer notices. In the area of Huarun Vanguard Food Street in Longhua, a whole row of empty shops are written for transfer. Such a good location is idle and no one rents it. Many small companies in Shenzhen have closed down, and large companies are also cutting salaries and laying off employees. The most saturated now may be food delivery men and online car-hailing drivers. There are now more wolves than meat. After most people are laid off, they will choose to work as food delivery men, couriers, or online car-hailing drivers to make a transition. Moreover, Shenzhen is a city with high consumption. An ordinary salary for an adult can no longer support a family with children. So most men and women work, and both men and women, young and old, work outside. It is unbelievable to what extent companies are laying off employees now. One person gets one salary, but he has to do the work of 2 to 3 people. He wants to quit and is under great pressure. But he has to earn this wasteful job because he doesn't know if he can find a better job in the future after quitting. There is no way but to force yourself to become a tool man. Is it the same in your place?